Whovians, Whovian Queen here. Hope you have a good week so far. Well, look at the Tech Doctor era continues on with the episode Love and Monsters. Yay! So let's look at this thing. Elton Pope sees a photograph of the 10th Doctor taken during a recent alien invasion on Ursula Blake's blog. Elton recalls seeing the same man in his house when he was a child. Elton and Ursula, with 3 others, form a group who have similarly encountered the Doctor, known as Linda. Linda meets in a library basement to discuss their experiences, but soon their meetings become more social in nature. One day, a man by the name of Victor Kennedy interrupts the meeting and points out that Linda has lost focus. He reinvigorates the group's efforts to locate the Doctor and his companion Rose by teaching them spying techniques. Elton is given the task of getting close to Rose's mother, Jackie. He manages to meet Jackie at a laundrette and is invited to her apartment. She tries and fails to seduce him, but when she finds a picture of Rose in Elton's jacket, she demands that he leave her alone. Meanwhile, Bridget and Bliss disappear from the group unexpectedly. After a meeting, Elton, Ursula, and Mr. Skinner stage a walkout. Victor persuades Mr. Skinner to remain behind, but Elton and Ursula leave. Ursula realizes she forgot her phone, and she returns with Elton only to discover that Victor is an alien, whom Elton dubs an Absorbaloff. The Absorbaloff reveals that he has absorbed the rest of Linda and wishes to also absorb the Doctor to gain his accumulated experience and knowledge. The Absorbaloff tricks Ursula into being absorbed as well, before pursuing Elton. Elton is quartered in a dead-end alley. As he resigns himself to be absorbed, the TARDIS materializes and the Doctor and Rose emerge from within. The Absorbaloff attempts to ransom Elton in exchange for the Doctor, but the Doctor feigns disinterest in Elton's fate, while dropping a hint to the absorbed members of Linda. In response, the absorbed members collectively use their willpower to suppress the Absorbaloff, who ends up dropping his cane. At Ursula's prompting, Elton breaks the cane, which causes the Absorbaloff to melt into the ground. The Doctor then recalls his first encounter with Elton, and explains that he was at Elton's house years ago tracking an elemental shade, but was too late and the shade had killed Elton's mother. The Doctor is able to bring Ursula back in the form of a paving stone, which Elton starts a relationship with. Okay then. So let's look at a little bit of continuity here. This episode contains flashbacks to the events of Rose, aliens of London, and the Christmas invasion. Some footage was reused, but most was restaged to be from Elton's point of view. Rose remarks on the Absorbaloff as being a little bit Slithenish in appearance. The Absorbaloff states that he comes from Clom, the sister planet of the Slitheen homeworld Raxacoricophalopatorius. Victor Kennedy mentions that Rose's Torchwood files are missing because they were corrupted by a bad wolf virus, representing both the recurring phrases of the first and second series. So now let's look at the production of this episode. Unlike the vast majority of Doctor Who stories, Love and Monsters has only nominal appearances by the TARDIS crew, and is not from their point of view. This was a production necessity because the Christmas special had increased the number of episodes to produce from 13 to 14. As such, the production was double-banked with The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit, so Tennant and Piper could film those episodes, while another unit worked on Love and Monsters. The Doctor Light, and sometimes Companion Light structure, has continued as a tradition, producing such episodes as Blink, Turn Left, and The Girl Who Waited. As such, executive producer Russell T Davies had to come up with a story that had good reason to keep the Doctor and Rose out. Davies was inspired by the Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode The Zeppo, and the Star Trek The Next Generation episode Lower Decks, both of which focused on atypical characters. Davies described the episode, and I quote, "It's an experimental script, not so experimental that people will run away screaming from Saturday Night BBC One because you can experiment too much. People still want a bit of a monster and a bit of a thrill and a bit of the Doctor, so it still delivers as normal Doctor Who. But just as you think you know everything this program can do, this puts a little bit of spin on it." The episode had the working title of I Love the Doctor. The acronym Linda was previously used on the British children's television program Why Don't You, which featured the Liverpool Investigation and Detective Agency. Russell T Davies worked on the series for some years. According to Davies, in an early draft, Elton would have been witness to more events in Doctor Who history. In this draft, Elton's third birthday was evacuated because of the Dalek invasion of Shoreditch from members of the Daleks. His mother was killed by a plastic daffodil from Terror of the Autons instead of an elemental shade, and he also would have been one of those who saw the Loch Ness Monster rise from the Thames from Terror of the Zygons. Prior to the arrival of Doctor Who, Davies had considered pitching this story idea to Doctor Who magazine as a comic story. Davies had also considered making the viewpoint character of the story of a woman, but he already had enough focus on female guest characters that series. Davies wanted Elton to be a normal guy and not geeky with a funny voice. It is noted that Elton's memory may not be entirely reliable, so whether events in the episode happened the way he remembers them is debatable. Another necessity the episode had to fulfill was to include the winner of Blue Peter's Design a Doctor Who Monster competition. The winner, the Absorbaloff, was designed by 9-year-old William Grantham. Davies said of the monster, and I quote, "I thought the Absorbaloff was brilliant. It touches people, absorbs them, and their face actually appears in the body. Terrifying." According to producer Phil Collinson, Grantham was disappointed with the rendering of the monster because he had envisioned it being, quote, "the size of a double-decker bus," end quote, but the production team was never informed of this. Grantham himself denies being disappointed. Peter Kay had written a letter to Davies after the new series began in June 2005, and Davies replied to him in September, offering a guest spot in an episode. Kay was originally for the part of Elton, but he felt the UFO spotter type was too similar to his character on Coronation Street, and much preferred playing the baddie. The creature that Elton sees at the start of the episode is credited as the Hoyks. Davies noted in the commentary that the name was invented only after the episode was shot, and a name was needed for the credits. Director Dan Zeff said of the tone the production team wished to capture, and I quote, "Working with an inspirational design team, we want to emphasize the melancholy feel, and emptiness in the world around our characters. Big urban spaces that once may have been full of life, but now lay abandoned, rusting, decayed. Amidst this, Elton and his fragile group of friends would feel almost cast adrift, increasingly vulnerable as they are led astray by the sinister Victor Kennedy." The episode features the songs Mr. Blue Sky, Don't Bring Me Down, and Turn to Stone by Electric Light Orchestra, Elton's favorite band. So overall, this is definitely not one of the best episodes of modern Doctor Who, and it's definitely just one you should skip over for that very reason. So overall, I give Love and Monsters 1 sonic screwdriver out of 5. Well, tune in next week as we take a look at a somewhat better episode with Fear Her. Well, hope you enjoyed that review, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it around, also subscribe if you haven't already, hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload videos, and if you want to help me out, be sure to check out my Patreon page, link is in the description. So until next time, this is Whovian Queen saying, "Oh my giddy aunt! When I say run, run! I've reversed the polarity of the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo!" Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, and Stetsons are cool.